that will take you to the next destination in your career or business. And now, Katrina Brittingham. Hello, hello, hello. This is Katrina Brittingham coming to you by herself today because Dr. Love is taking some well-deserved R&R with his family. So we are going to get into it. Oh, excuse me. I do need to let you know that this show is sponsored by Kingdom. I'm sorry, let me get this up so I can give it to you right. But as we start, we are going to be going over some well needed work life balance things. Okay. And so we are going to be going over that. I know where I am, the school started today. So it is officially fall for them. So they have started the new year. And with that, we have business owners that are have children, have to get them ready. So the summer months were there. Maybe you were a little busier with the activities, but as school starts, it becomes a big thing, a big event, a new schedule, new adjustments, possibly dropping children off, picking them up where they may have been home with you. Okay, so we're going to talk about the things that you can do to help you have that work life balance. Okay. Our show is sponsored by Kingdom Come Online Shop, and we are going to have a commercial for that where you can get products that are personalized and spiritually based for any occasion. All right. It is owned by Miss Anjali Sharma. All right. So, with no further ado, we are going to go in and talk about the 5 ways to achieve better work life balance, even though your business never stops. And that's one of the things as a business owner that people don't understand. We are running our business all of the time. Rain, snow, sickness, the business still goes on. All right. So, as small business owners, as entrepreneurs, we have so many responsibilities, and it can be daunting. It can be downright hard to balance them with your home life and your children, your spouses, um, getting work done, a housework done, and chores done. So, here are 5 steps that can help you accomplish what you need to do. Okay. So, according to the New York Enterprise poll, small business workers, owners work twice as much daily than employees. And of course, we know that. We are putting in the work, we are putting in the hours because if we don't do it, it does not get done. We are, especially solopreneurs, we are a one person shop. So we have to make sure that we are getting content out, that we are satisfying customers, that we are still being innovative. So we tend to put in, as a whole, more hours than a typical worker. And 25% of workers work more than 60 hours in a week. All right. And this is just to make sure that the company stays afloat. Okay. With that being said, many small business owners have a hard time balancing their home and their personal lives. That's Sally Joe's wedding, so and so's graduation, this event, that event, going to the movies, or something like that. I know for me, I schedule that time in. I let people know you need to let me know in advance, so I can put it on the calendar and not schedule anything for that evening, not schedule anything for that day. You have to give me time because I actually own a whole business. And sometimes people did not understand that because they worked 9 to 5. So when they were done work at 5 or 7 to 3, when they were off at 3, that was the end of their day. Okay. Whereas when you're working and you have clients, you have people that you are booking and billing, you have shipments that need to go out. You cannot just drop what you're doing to go run to an event. So you do need to have that planned. And that's my extra step that I could suggest to you. Okay. The first thing you need to do to balance your work and your life balance is to take a step back. Okay. So if you're unhappy with how your work and your life is balancing, the first thing that you need to do is to take a step back and look at what's going on. Okay. Reflect on the bigger picture. What are, what are you losing out on? What are you losing? And where is the imbalance, basically? Is it a thing of making sure that people let you know in advance of something? Is it that you do have workers that may be able to cover for you, but you still need to have that time to schedule with them because they have lives, okay? And they need to balance things. Okay, so this is at least a week if you can help it to be able to make the concessions that you need to make, okay? So many times when the work life balance is challenged is when you have a major life event like a birth or a death or you become ill. Okay. I know for me with the work life balance, it was when I got sick and I found myself in the hospital. It wasn't work related. I actually really did have something that I had been battling with for some time and I ended up in the hospital. But I realized I didn't have a balance in my work, you know, and I didn't have anyone to um who could cover for me. I tried to have some people come in and contract, but it was a last minute thing. They had other things, they had other obligations. And because of the lack of balance and things like that, I ended up losing out on some pretty big contracts, some pretty lucrative contracts. So I had to ask myself, what do I need to put into place so this does not happen to me again? Okay. So you want to ask yourself, what's causing me stress? What's causing me the imbalance? What's causing me to not be satisfied with the way my schedule is and everything? So we had Myra Rios Castro in the Harvard Review say, how are these circumstances affecting how I perform and engage with my job? Okay, with my business. How are they affecting my personal life? What am I prioritizing? Is what I'm prioritizing really a priority? What am I sacrificing? And am I sacrificing things that is a necessity? Okay. What is getting lost in the sauce? Okay. And then you have to look at it the other way as well, because sometimes as a business owner, you could be more heavily on the personal side than the business side. There may be some things that is slipping through the cracks. Okay. So you have to look at and take stock of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and filling in those gaps. So after you take that break and you take time to actually look at your business and your life as a whole and what your needs are, what your family needs are, then you can acknowledge the factors that are causing you to have that imbalance, that's causing you to have that stress, that's causing you to have a lopsided life. And then you can tackle each one of them. Okay. So, number two is delegate non mission critical tasks. What does that mean? Small business owners often have the mindset that they need to have their hand in every task. This is true with entrepreneurs specifically because this is your baby. This is what you have invested your savings and probably all of your savings, okay, is being invested into this business. And so it gets hard to hand off your child. Say you had an infant child that's like 2 weeks old. It's hard to hand that child off to someone and think that they're going to take care of it the way you take care of it. Okay. So delegation can free up a lot of time for you. Okay. Having someone that's hired, someone that can take on tasks for you, making sure things get done that needs to get done. Okay. This will also free you up to be the visionary of your company. If you're constantly doing the day-to-day work, you can't be that person that has that foresight. You can't be the one that envisions where your business is going to be in the next 6 months, 3 months, a year or 2 years. You know, so you need to be able to hand tasks off to people. You have a choice to keep doing things that can be delegated or even outsourced. You know, so sometimes you can contract people. There are freelance sites that you can go to hand some things off. Okay, so you can choose to do that, and you can choose to not do that and risk not being able to plan your business growth or your business strategy, because it's going to be one thing or another. You're either going to be freed up to plan those things out, or you are going to not be able to do it because you're so bogged down with the day to day. Okay, there are some things that you truly cannot outsource, but there are some things that you can. Okay, so that's one of the things when you sit back and look, that you can decide what you need to outsource. All right, so we are at number three. Consider working a 4-day work week or having a flexible schedule for yourself. You can always work 6 4-hour days, or um working you know, 6 6-hour days or something like that, or have 3 days that you work 10 hours and the other two in the work week you can work 4 or 5 hours. It depends on what your needs are. It depends on what your personal obligations are. And it depends on what your business needs are. Okay. So, in the arrangement where you work a 4-day work week, you are expected to retain the same level of productivity that you had. It's the same thing as if you worked with someone and they had you work a 4-day work week. They still want you to get the same amount of work done that you were getting when you were working a 5-hour work week. Okay. You want to have the same compensation. So in that time frame when you're working the amended schedule? Are you still bringing in the same amount of income that you were bringing in when you were working the regular schedule? Okay. There have been tests on this, and it has been proven to work for business owners. Okay. So, some metrics that we have for that is that when it came to work life balance in an 8-week trial, work life balance increased 44%, empowerment by 26%, leadership strength 28%, work produced was boosted 27%, and the commitment to the organization was 29%. This is from the leadership, from ownership, people who own the company. Okay. This is with no advanced preparation that this happened. Okay. So you can plan to have it for yourself. And if you have staff, they're more committed to the organization because they are able to take care of what they're supposed to take care of during their workday. I found for myself what works for me is being able to have a flexible schedule where I can work 2 hours, 1 hour, or do a little bit in the morning, do a little bit in the evening, and then I can have the day for the different things that I need to get done during the day, like doctor's appointments, getting groceries, things like that, taking um, uh, the children out or whatever. So you can, make that schedule for yourself, especially if you're a solopreneur. Set your own schedule. And I found that I am more productive because I'm not stressed out about what I have to get done in my personal life. Okay. I'm not stressed out about, oh man, I'm going to miss Susie Jane's soccer match or baseball game or whatever. I don't have that stress because I am able to be flexible in my schedule. I set my own schedule, even when it comes to clients. Sometimes are just times that I'm not available. And I let them know that. Like I'm not available during this time, I'll do it in a way of saying, this is my availability. These are the times that you can book that I am available. It works that way. Same if I have other meetings and other bookings during a certain time frame, I'm not sending my whole day. I'm sending the time that I'm available. Okay. So, this type of model can be helpful for business owners to experiment with. Increasing time off without sacrificing productivity can be a surefire way to allocate time for personal responsibilities and leisure, just like with the example that I gave you. I have more time for my personal time and my leisure, but I'm able to do the work in a time that suits me. And also in a time frame where I am the most fresh, where my mind is clear. Okay. So with that, we are going to get ready to go to our commercial. If you have any questions about work-life balance, you can definitely let me know if that is something that you are looking for as a business owner. If that's something that you need to work on as a business owner, you can let me know. You can ask me questions, and I will get you or provide you with some answers and some suggestions that may help you. Okay, and with that being said, we are going to go to commercial. So that was our sponsor, Kingdom Come Online Shop, where the proprietor is Anjali Sharma. She has an online store, and that information is in the commercial that we had. I will also have her information in the description at the end of the show. So if you need to visit her, you can. All right. Thank you so very much for in advance for patronizing her. She has some really nice stuff. Um, that I'm actually looking into and looking for as well. They make great stocking stuffers, they make great graduation gifts, birthday gifts, or just because gifts. There are also things that you can use in your daily life, some scriptures, if that's something you um, are into. It's also inspirational thoughts. She has an excellent book about converting from the religion she was in to the religion she's in now. So if you are a new convert from that, you can read that. Or if you're just curious about her testimony and how things transpired with her, you can purchase that booklet that she has on there. All right. So the next thing that you want to have is to have clearly defined work hours each day. One thing, not enough business owners do is set a hard start and a hard stop time for work. But having clearly defined work hours for yourself can help you push through tasks more quickly and keep time set up for having a home life. I can attest to this one. When I first started out in business, I would get up in the morning, get myself together, sit at my computer at 6 in the morning, maybe even 5 in the morning, and it was still dark outside. I would work and work and work and do the stuff I need to do for the day and get tired and like, dang, I'm tired. What time is it? And I would look and it was dark outside again. And so, depending on the time of year, that might have been 5 o'clock, that might have been 9 o'clock. So, what I had to do for myself, because I was like, God, I'm working so much, I'm working, putting in so many hours. Um, I set a firm start time, a firm ending time. I set it up on my schedule to send me alerts, just like you have your emails. Time to start work, time to have lunch. Because one of the things I didn't do was eat like I was supposed to. So even if I had breakfast before I started, which most of the time I did not, um, I have missed lunch and dinner and snacks. I also incorporated breaks in my day. Now I do flex those breaks according to what is going on during the day, but I set up time like I was working for a corporation, which I was working for a corporation, working for my own. But it's a reason why they have set business times, set start times, set end times, set lunch times, and things like that. Is because you need those, because people need to know, especially when you're someone like me and a workaholic, reformed, that you have set times that you're there, set times that you're not. One thing that I can say it helps, especially if you're in a business where you work from home, is to have a set aside space, preferably a place where the door closes and opens. Because I know when I walk through the door, I'm at work. When I walk back through that door and shut that door, I am off of work. I do not go back into that office unless I have to until the next business day. So sometimes you have to put those things and those safeguards in place to protect yourself as being the owner and being the employee. is having those set times set up. Okay. So, um, in small business trends, the founder of Gold Fire Studios, James Simpson, said that I fell into the trap of working 16-hour days for a long time and would start procrastinating since I could just get it done tonight. I found that when I started a hard stop at 7 p.m., I actually started getting more done in less time, and my business flourished because of it. So it helps you to focus your work and your efforts. What do you actually need to get done by that cutoff time? By 7 p.m., by 5 p.m., by 4 p.m., whatever your schedule is. What do you have to get done in that time frame? It helps you to focus your mind. It helps you focus on what the priority is. Because sometimes you were doing things that wasn't necessarily a priority that had to get done at that time when you were working in the business. So you have to just make sure that you are making great use of your time. And if you're working 16-hour days or 20-hour days, it is easy to get complacent because it's like, oh, I'll just get it done later. I'll just get it done later. Well, sometimes that's not a good thing. Well, all the time, that's not a good thing. Procrastination is never really a good thing because then you'll find yourself cramming to get something done, and the product may not be as great of quality because of that. Okay. Use do not disturb to create separation between work and home. So if you get a lot of emails or IMs and things like that, and you use that in your company, when you go to break, when you go to lunch, when you're off for the day, you can set yourself into do not disturb. And so that way, people know that you're not available. Your voicemails and things like that will go to voicemail. Your phone calls and things like that will go to voicemail. Okay. It's another way to make things easier because, as you know, sometimes email can come in right when you're shutting down 5 minutes before, a minute before, and it's like, oh, well, let me look at this email real quick. And then that can start you on a chain to start a whole different chain of work that would have been there when you got there that morning. And it probably wasn't urgent. Okay. So if you're like me and you have several different electronical devices, your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, you want to set your do not disturb on each one of them so you're not pinged with notifications that can help, put separation between you and your family time and your personal time. I have been guilty of that as well. Been at a personal event, family event, and I get this notification on my phone, and I'm like, oh, I gotta answer that. No, I'm off. I will have to answer that when the next business day comes. Okay. So then your family feels like you're present in the moment. Okay. That you're not just there in body, but you're at work in your mind, in your spirit. Okay. So Mark Greenfield, a VP at Work Human, said if we were to do all the tasks that were in front of us, we could probably work 24 hours a day. And that is true. It's always going to be work to do. It's always going to be something tomorrow. So just make sure you prioritize yourself the way it's supposed to be and do what can wait until tomorrow. Okay? So you need to have discipline plan about choosing what you can switch off as well as what you need to do during the day. You can make a to-do list. I was the queen of that. making a to-do list. I don't do it so much now because I do have things prioritized. I do have things that are delegated. Sometimes I do if I know I have some conflicting priorities. I sit and I make a to-do list so I know what needs to be done and when. What do I need to get done by the end of the day? Okay? How far did I get in it? That also helps you identify what waste you have. Okay? All right, so that is what we have for you for today. Yes, this was a short, so I knew it was because we only have 5 items, and I don't have my co-host bringing in and putting in his input. I do thank you so much for joining me for this show, and have a good day. Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a guest on the show, contact us via email info@ventureready.net.